This video is sponsored by Onefootball. If you need a new football app on your phone, Onefootball is the place to go. You can select Celtic as your favourite team, and that'll give you all the latest Celtic news, transfer speculation, fixtures, and even live match updates if for any reason you can't make or watch a game. You can also add widgets to your home screen to keep up to date with Celtic's next fixture, who it's against, what the kick-off time is, all that stuff. And you can track leagues from across the world, league tables, top goal scorers, you name it, you'll find it all there on the Onefootball app. You can download it by clicking the link in the description of this video. It's free, absolutely free, wherever you get your apps on your phone. And it's a great way to support Celtic Fans TV. So if you haven't downloaded it already, please click the link below and get involved. Yes, what's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel. It is starting 11 prediction time again. This time for tomorrow's trip to Tannadice to face Dundee United. Before we get to talking about the game, though, we need to discuss the Champions League fixtures. They were officially confirmed this morning. And I don't know about you, but I've certainly spent all morning on flight websites, booking accommodation. I feel like a travel agent, stressed out my box. But I've managed to get most of the away days booked. One left, need to sort Leipzig. But we're almost there. What a buzz. What an exciting group draw for Celtic, and it starts at home against Real Madrid in only 10 days' time. Next week was always going to be massive for the club because it's the first derby of the season on Saturday, but then 3 or 4 days later to face the European champions Real Madrid in the opening group stage game at Celtic Park. There aren't two bigger fixtures for that than Celtic. It's going to be a massive, massive couple of weeks for the club, and I'm buzzing to watch this Celtic team try and navigate through those games. We're in a great run of form. We're playing well. We've got Dundee United tomorrow, Ross County away in the Cup during the week, and then it'll be those two massive games, the derby first, and then, as I say, Real Madrid at Celtic Park on what promises to be one of the most special atmospheres at Celtic Park for a long, long time. I know I can't wait. I hope you're looking forward to it as well. In terms of how the fixtures line up in the group stage and how that might help us or hinder us, it's obviously a tough start at home to Real Madrid, but it does get one of the Real Madrid games out the way. We're then away to Shakhtar in Warsaw, and then we've got the doubleheader against Leipzig before we face Shakhtar at Celtic Park and conclude Group F away against Real Madrid in the Bernabeu. So there's no doubt that doubleheader against Leipzig will be key for us, but also that away game against Shakhtar will be huge as well. And match day 5, you want to be alive in the group when you face Shakhtar Donetsk at Celtic Park. You hope that the atmosphere can help us that night and we can maybe get a victory. You want the group to be alive for us and you don't want anything to be decided. I don't think it will be by that stage, but if we're still alive going into match day 5, it promises to be an exciting prospect. So we'll get to talking about Sunday, but I can't wait for that Champions League campaign to start, as we discussed in the stream. I hope you enjoyed the live stream, by the way, if you watched it the other day. 3 hours long, an absolute marathon, but I enjoyed bringing it to you. It was an absolute buzz, and I just can't wait for the Champions League games to get started now. But first of all, we have got important league games, and they start tomorrow against Dundee United, who conceded 14 goals in their last 3 matches. They obviously had the high-profile 7-0 defeat in Alkmaar, but then they've lost to Hearts and St Mirren in the league. Jack Ross under a bit of pressure early on in his tenure. As for Celtic, we are on a 36-game unbeaten run in the league. We've got to try and keep that up for as long as possible. It is the 5th longest unbeaten league run in the club's history. So that's a reflection of how well the team are playing and the job that Ange Postecoglou is doing. The longer we can keep that going, the better. So we'll get to the starting lineup for tomorrow. The last 3 weekends, Ange Postecoglou has made no changes to his starting lineup. I don't know if that will be the case tomorrow, and I would certainly expect changes for that League Cup game during the week. We will see, though, and when we get to next weekend, the game against Rangers, and then that opening group game against Real Madrid, we'll see what he thinks his strongest team is. We've got a fully fit squad, apart from Ideguchi, who's still making his way back from injury. But apart from that, everyone else is fully fit as it stands here just now. So that Rangers game and the Real Madrid game is going to tell us a lot about what Ange thinks his strongest starting 11 is for those big games. So here we go. We'll start in goals, and it will be number 1, Joe Hart. At right back, I think it will be Josip Juranovic. As I say, no changes in the last 3 weeks. I think if Juranovic is fit, he's going to start most weeks this season. But again, Ralston is there as an able deputy, and when these games start coming thick and fast, 2 and 3 games a week, I think we'll see Ralston play, and he'll get his fair share of game time. There's no doubt about that. Centre half pairing, Carter Vickers. I got this one wrong last weekend. I thought he might introduce Starfelt back into the starting 11. He didn't. He went with Moritz Jens, and I think on that basis, Jens will start again tomorrow. As I say, that's one of the areas of the pitch where the manager has a big call to make. We'll see it next weekend against Rangers and then against Real Madrid, who he thinks is his first choice right now. I think it will be Jens tomorrow. And to be fair to the big man, he's performed well since he's come in and deserves his starting position. Left back, it will be Greg Taylor. Again, one of our standout performers so far this season. There's no doubt it will be him in that position. Callum McGregor will obviously lead the team. I think he'll keep his role in that deeper position. We've seen Moy be introduced as a substitute the last few weeks. I think we'll probably see that again tomorrow, and that maybe changes McGregor's role a wee bit. Maybe he can move slightly further up the pitch and Moy can win the ball back and keep things ticking over in a deeper position for us. But McGregor will start in there. The other one I got wrong last week was that I thought Hatate would come back in to the starting lineup. I'm going to stick with that this weekend. I don't think Turnbull did quite enough last week against Hearts. Previous week against Kilmarnock wasn't brilliant either. And as I say, I expect the midfield three to be McGregor, Hatate and O'Reilly for those big games, the Derby and then the opening Champions League group game. So I think that will be the starting three tomorrow. We may well see that chopped and changed at Ross County during the week. But I think for the big games coming up, that will be the midfield three. And I think right now, it is definitely our strongest midfield three as well. So on the right-hand side, I think it will be Felipe Jota. Not his most effective game last weekend. I always wonder, by the way, why do we just call him Jota? Even when people talk to him and they use Jota as his first name, I don't know if that's the way he likes it, but there's never any other name added on. But aye, Jota on the right-hand side, Maeda on the left. Not Jota's most effective game last weekend, but he did huff and puff, and we know the qualities that he's got. I think Maeda will start. We've got Haksabanovic in the door, so that's going to provide competition for both Jota and Maeda. Competition, but also depth, and that depth is going to be tested with those big games that we've got coming up in the first half of the season and once the Champions League gets underway. But I think those two will start out wide, and I do expect Kyogo Furuhashi to lead the line through the middle. It's actually great to see the difference between Kyogo starting and then Yakimakis coming off the bench and seeing the benefit. Kyogo opening the scoring, I think 3 weeks in a row now, Ross County, Kilmarnock, Hearts. In the last 2 weeks, Yakimakis has come off the bench to great effect and got his name on the score sheet as well. That's great problems for the manager to have two players there contributing, pushing each other for the starting slot. But Kyogo, I think, will lead the line tomorrow. So that's the lineup I think the manager will pick for Tannadice. We'll see how it develops over the next 10 days or so as we approach the first derby of the season and then that group game against Real Madrid. What an exciting time to be following Celtic. Like this video, comment with your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Enjoy the game wherever you're watching it tomorrow, and we'll see you after the game for all of the full-time reaction. Cheers.